How's it feel? I mean, finally getting the results to go your way. How's that kind of corresponded to training this week?
Yeah, it's always a different feeling after you win. We've won 2 out of the last 4 now. We've only lost 1 out of the last 4. And that was an unfortunate one. I thought that was actually one of our better performances in New Mexico, just a little mental lapse at the end. You know, the schedule doesn't get any easier. I think the East is significantly stronger this year than I've ever seen it. But that's good. That's a good challenge. We're still grinding out games where we have a good record at home, but we're seeing one of historically the best teams this league has seen. And even American soccer underneath the MLS level has seen over the years. So they're a powerful organization, they're a big, powerful team, they're fast in a lot of spots, highly technical in the center of midfield, so they don't lack much. So we have to be what I view them as a better version of Pittsburgh, honestly. Same shape and just a better version.
Yeah, and talked to you, I think, earlier in the season and got 3 or 4 games in. You said you guys, in terms of the rebuild, were on the right track. Now that you kind of have the result and you're in that picture in terms of the table about midway through the season here, would you say that's still true?
Yeah, we're going game to game. We're not worried about the table yet. This is more about continuing to grow our identity and finish plays. And, Michi was fantastic in the last game. I thought Becky was very effective in the last game. Wasn't far off having a goal and an assist there. But I think, from a team performance standpoint, we're starting to grow and have a little more guts in the way we run and defend and cover spaces and make the game difficult for opponents. And you need things to bounce your way. I mean, I'm watching games across the league and you see some pretty crazy stuff happen and you're like, wow, I wish that would happen for us. But it doesn't always happen that way. So you have to will some of it to happen with your hard work off the ball.
Yeah, and maybe it seemed like the conversations in the last few weeks were just things maybe weren't going your way in terms of results, even though the performances were there. Did something like this feel like it was coming for a long time?
Yeah, I think ever since the one game I would separate from all the other games was Louisville. I thought that was a total anomaly. I thought we were really poor and deserved what we got, quite frankly. But the reality is there hasn't been another game where I felt that way. Even Indy, they could have, been in a very different position. They could have had 9 men at halftime if things were managed differently. So it's important for us to not lose sight of the fact that we've been away to Charleston, we've been away to Louisville, we've been away to Indy, we've been away to New Mexico. I mean, so I could keep going, but there will be softer spots in this schedule. This is definitely not one of them.
Yeah, how are you preparing for the Tampa match? I mean, like you said, a very tough team. What do you kind of expect to get out of that game, and especially in front of the home fans?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a fantastic crowd. I'm hearing we might already be very close to sold out, which is awesome. Our fans have been great since game 1. There were people out there in horrible conditions watching us and loud, and the fan base has just grown and grown and grown into the season with us, and I think that's a big part of the reason we're able to close out games at home, that we're 4-2-1 at home.
Yeah, and finally, a lot of movement in terms of the transfer between teams. You've got Enoch going out to Pittsburgh, and they brought in a guy like Younes. Just what's the vision there maybe with the team, and what did Younes kind of contribute in his first game?
Just rebalancing in terms of the roster. I just from a belief standpoint, I think in roster building you should not over recruit, but you should have a big healthy group of players who are competing all the time. And you gradually figure out as the season goes on what the most effective grouping of players is going to be for you, and then you make adjustments along the way and allow guys to go pursue their individual wants and needs in other places, and sprinkle in guys like Younes, who you mentioned, who I thought had a fantastic debut with us, and we weren't surprised by it. He was playing really well in Indy before he came here, and we just felt like that was an area of the field where we could potentially, give a different look. We were happy with what we were getting from that part of the field already, but I think Younes adds a different element for us.
Awesome. So how's training been this week, and how are the guys responding to the win?
I mean, it's a good feeling always coming off a victory. Is always a wonderful feeling in the group. So it's been good this far.
What was the focus today in the session?
It's what we always focus on, is counter-attack, play to our strength.
And you were able to get the assist to Michi. He had a brace, obviously, on Saturday. How good did it feel, not only for you personally to be able to put in that type of performance, but to see your teammate finally find that success and for the team to come out with the win?
We're a good team and we know what we truly deserve, and I think for the past 2 to 3 weeks we've been getting results and we know that's what we really deserve, so it's a good feeling, but it's nothing that we don't expect.
I know the kind of talk was you were performing well and not getting maybe the results or things weren't falling your way. And did it finally, it felt like this was coming for a while?
Yeah, as I said, I've been feeling it coming, and with time, good things will happen.
Well, and what are you expecting out of this Tampa team? It's another tough team coming in Friday. What are you expecting, and how excited are you to be back in front of the home fans for a second game?
Tampa is a good team, I have to show respect to them, but we're going to do what we do best and give the fans something to cheer for.
First of all, how good is it to be back?
Yeah, it's great. A lot of familiar faces. I felt the love from the fans last weekend. It's a familiar city, so yeah, it's great to be back. If I said it to some people that are close to me, if there's one place that I should have gone to for a mid-season trade, I think this place was the best one for me.
And what did it feel like when you first maybe heard the news or got informed that there was a trade happening and that you'd be coming back to Hartford?
I didn't really know about it, so I found out Tuesday morning. I was on a plane here Thursday, so it's kind of part of the business. You get along with it, or you get over it, and you go along with what the move is, and you make the switch quick, and you try to help the team right away. So I was trying to get into Hartford as quickly as possible to get to know the guys, get to know the coaching staff, just get familiar with the new faces and stuff, and just get going as soon as possible. I'm very excited.
Yeah, obviously there's a lot of differences in terms of roster. You've got the training facility now since the last time you've been in Hartford. What's maybe the most notable difference that you've noticed in your first week or so, and maybe how does it compare to the last time you were here?
Yeah, a lot changed. I think the coaching staff has a big pedigree in the USL, so I think bringing them in kind of provided a long-term vision for the club. It's something that maybe was missing a little bit in the past. I think there's just a plan in place. The training facilities are top right now. So you got everything that you need. The players right now, it's on the players now to use everything that has been gifted to the club right now. And move forward. I feel like the last couple of years the success maybe hasn't been here as we wanted, but I think the steps are taken that are necessary, and now it's up to us to make that next step and get above the playoff line and then move from there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you mentioned the maybe lack of success in the past. Do you feel like that's coming with what you've seen? You were able to get the start so soon after being signed. I mean, how was it like meshing with the guys, gelling with the new team, and what do you think the ceiling is for this group?
Yeah, I feel like, last year I was at India, we kind of had a little bit of the similar path. We brought a lot of talented players in, and it's kind of the same thing that Hartford did this year. You come in and you just notice the difference with, in the past, just a lot of experienced guys, a lot of talent in the group. But last year in India we did the same thing, and it took us a little bit to get going around this time of the season, 12, 13 games in. So I think that's necessary to go through the lows together, see what goes wrong and adjust it. So I think it's a good time now to bring all that talent together and keep moving.
What do you personally bring on the field? What are you gonna help? What is your vision of what you're gonna help the team with? In your time on the field.
Yeah, I pride myself in bringing a lot of energy in games and training, giving everything that I have. Because I feel like that reflects on the rest of the team. You're a product of your environment, so I feel like if you try to bring the best out of yourself, I think it helps the players around you as well. I'm a two-way outside back, so I like to defend 1v1. I like to go forward and provide assists and contribute in the attack in third. I love having the 1v1 battles with good players, good wingers in this league. So it's kind of what I bring to this team.
Awesome. And finally, you're someone who, between Indy and Hartford, very familiar with the Eastern Conference. Obviously, Tampa's been a very good team. What do you expect out of them, welcoming on them on Friday, and how are you going to attack that game?
They're a very energetic team. They have a lot of talented players. It's a team that's been playing a similar style, for multiple years, and a couple players that have been for a long time. So I feel like the culture is a bit embedded in them. But we have a solid plan, and Coach Brendan went over it this morning with us. We have a solid plan to attack them from their weaknesses, and stay compact and defend the wide areas really well, because they have good service, they have good strikers, and they have a solid midfield as well, where they keep the balance in the team. So I feel like we just have to execute a plan that the coaching staff has given us.
Awesome. That's all I got. Thanks so much.
Perfect.